5 years ago, Rocksteady Studios released their final main entry in the critically acclaimed Batman Arkham series. The game set the bar as the best Batman experience to date with its open-world Gotham City, a large roster of villains, and the iconic Batmobile. Rocksteady evolved every aspect of Arkham City and threw it into Knight. However, many fans and critics didn't see the finale as the big bang they were hoping for. The tank battles were tedious and too vast in quantity. There were virtually no boss fights, and the mystery of the Arkham Knight was predicted before the game even launched. But since then, there have been a number of rumors and leaks of a new Batman game developed by WB Montreal. One of the earliest rumors was a direct sequel to Arkham Origins featuring Dick Grayson as Robin. There were also leaked concepts of a Damian Wayne Batman game featuring a desolate Gotham City, a female Black Mask, a younger Poison Ivy, and a Two-Face as the judge. As of late 2019, there have been rumors of a Court of Owls game set after Origins. This one had the most levity as the developers released a teaser on Batman's anniversary that displays several insignias alluding to the Court of Owls. Yet after months of speculation, there's been no word on a future Arkham title. As a die-hard fan of the series, I've been eagerly awaiting a new Batman experience like none that have come before. Which is why I present to you the Arkham series in evolution. Throughout this presentation, I'll be providing my own concepts of new and improved gameplay mechanics, story, and the game's longevity. Rocksteady truly threw their all into Arkham Knight. Everything was improved from the previous entries such as stealth, combat, traversal, puzzle solving, and much more. The formula and skeleton behind all these mechanics must be approached in a fresh way, and the only way to do that is to give the game a soft RPG element. Opening this door will allow players to craft their own unique Batman experience. Something that keeps players coming back to games is customization. Previous games had many different suits from Batman's lore, but there's nothing unique in terms of attributes to them. My idea is to include a new gear system akin to 2018's God of War, where you collect different types of resources throughout the city of Gotham in order to craft new armor pieces. But with the variety and customization of Injustice 2's gear system, having the gear system will allow the player to more freely play as the Batman they want, whether that's a stronger Dark Knight Returns brawler or a stealthier Nolan-like ninja. The new upgrade tree would take inspiration from Jedi Fallen Order, as certain abilities and gadgets can be evolved in different ways, such as spraying more rounds of explosive gel or a faster Batmobile, along with being able to purchase more special takedowns for more variety in combat. Gadgets have had a strong emphasis in the series, and it's only fair if the player got to choose what they carry out into the field. The utility belt will have a set selection of gadgets, but as the player progresses, they'll be able to craft a variety of special gadgets used from resources found in Gotham. 2 to 4 special slots will be available on the utility belt. All gear, Batmobile, and gadget upgrades will only be available in the Batcave or certain hideouts. Now moving on to the detective aspect of the game. Before, solving crimes was as simple as finding highlighted objects in detective mode. Now, finding clues will require more brain power and resourcefulness. Batman will have to find leads throughout the new interrogation system inspired by LA Noire and the 2004 Punisher game.
Asshole! Oh! I don't know how to get up there. The bedroom, little statue, tilt it.
Your final command performance.
You will be required to shake answers out of thugs by a combination of intimidation tactics and branching questions. Cases will take much longer to solve and can result in cold trails if the player invests in the wrong leads. Material clues will be required to bring back to the Batcave to analyze. As implied, the Batcave will have a much more inclusive role. Within the Batcave, there will be a variety of vehicles, memorabilia from Batman's lore, a suit workbench, a gadget workbench, and a combat training area. Not every case is eligible for completion in a single night. Bat family members will accompany you on a particular side quest, such as taking down a gang hideout or stopping a robbery in progress. This opens the window for 2-player online co-op to give a true dynamic duo experience. Partners can return clues to the Batcave and make progress on cases for you. But not every case is eligible for completion in a single night. A common argument from the previous games is that everything couldn't possibly take place in a single night. That's why there will be a day and night cycle that is triggered by completing main quests within the story. This will be elaborated further in the story segment. Toward reaching completion of a case will typically lead to an encounter of a supervillain. Boss fights will be much closer to that of the Deathstroke fight from Origins or the Mr. Freeze fight from City. Your skills and wits will bring you out on top rather than repetitive QTEs, spamming gadgets, or mind-numbing tank battles. This time around, there won't be a singular island, prison walls, or a city evacuation. Civilians and cops will be roaming the streets and will be vulnerable to the thugs and murderers roaming Gotham. Random acts of crime will be much more frequent and dynamic. Choosing to act or ignore will impact how the public perceives Batman, and will transform how the world will interact with you as your journey progresses. Gotham, as established in previous entries, is a series of interconnected islands. Batman can only travel so quickly on foot or by car, which is why there is the reintroduction of fast travel. The Batwing will be able to drop you off at any key landmark on the map. Through upgrades, the Batwing will also drop off equipment requests in order to change your gadget loadout on the fly. Every resource will be necessary to take on the evil forces of Gotham. Every entry of the series has brought riveting and unpredictable stories that unfold through creepy corridors or action-packed set pieces. This game should be no different. However, the introduction of the day and night cycle will make the story slightly less linear. Rather than one main story, there will be multiple story quests to complete that all have connective tissue. The ideal story to fit this model would be a cross between The Long Halloween and The Court of Owls. Both stories provide a large roster of characters and branching arcs to explore, and for this game to take place early in the Dark Knight's career would make this a perfect fit. Due to the death of Jason Todd, Batman has always sidelined his allies, but this game takes place prior to his introduction. Therefore, Batman is much more optimistic about having others fighting at his side. For example, new characters will be in the spotlight such as Cassandra Cain, whom Batman will have to track down alongside Lady Shiva, her mother, after discovering a trail of bodies in her wake. This is just an example of a side quest that would be in the game. Enemies from A to D tier will be littered throughout Gotham, ranging from Clayface to Kite Man. The Dark Knight will encounter many new threats, and will have to not only use his brawn, but his wits to uncover the truth behind both the crime families of Gotham and the mythical Court of Owls. Arkham Knight featured a season pass that included new skins for all of the playable characters, Batmobiles, challenge maps, racetracks, and Arkham episodes. While all of this content had promise, it didn't pack the punch fans wanted. Most of the Arkham episodes could be completed within 20 minutes, whereas previously story DLC was 2 to 3 hours long at minimum. Batmobile skins were a nice addition, but there were far too many variations of the base car. The finest example of DLC was the Season of Infamy. This added multiple new villains and side quests to the main story, and most of them provided a lot more detective work to complete. This is the blueprint to make this new entry stick with fans, just as Battle Royale games do. Every quarter of the preceding years should contain a content drop including new case files, villains, skins, and challenges. Gotham has always had ongoing threats for Batman to face, as depicted in comics, shows, and films, so the game should also reflect that. However, the Season Pass model is far outdated. Content such as skins should be priced low in order to continue bringing in revenue, so we, the players, have access to these new cases and villains to apprehend. The detective has been out of the gaming spotlight for far too long, and we're due for another journey as the Dark Knight. When do you think WB will announce this long-awaited sequel? And while you're at it, please let me know what you think of this concept. And as always, thanks for tuning in.